Hey, how's it going? It's Walsh here, sick as always. Today I'm going to talk to you about my experience with the Ruthless Necropolis League. I'm going to talk about some of, if not all of the characters I played this league, and I'm just going to break down whether I liked the league or didn't like the league and why I did or did not. I will have a TLDR right in the beginning, so if you don't want to watch a whole thing to figure out what the heck I'm trying to say, you can just find out really quickly. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy. It has been a couple weeks now since Necropolis League has ended for me, and to be honest with you, I did want to give it some time before I gave my thoughts and opinions on it because a lot of times when I just finished doing something, you're just riding this adrenaline rush of so much fun and such a good time, you have to kind of let that subside before you respond to how you feel. And to be honest with you, even after a few weeks, I still feel the exact same way. Without a doubt, this has been my absolute favorite league so far. And it's not because of the corpses, it's not because of the league mechanic, it's because of the Scarab change, and it's because of the Atlas tree change. Those two things alone have no joke made me love Ruthless 5 to 10 times more. I'm not even kidding you, it's amazing. It's such a good change, such a good patch. I really can't wait for the next league. It doesn't even matter if the league mechanic sucks because Ruthless, as a game by itself, as its at its core, is just so much better, so much more enjoyable, and I really cannot wait for the next patch. So I just told you that Necropolis has been my absolute favorite patch so far in Ruthless, and I kind of want to explain why. And first and foremost, for me anyway, is the Atlas skill tree change, which we now have 3 trees, which is I don't know what other word I could say, but just amazing. Having 3 trees is beautiful. So for what I do anyway, you have your base tree, which of course has all your map drop chance. You got all your bosses and etc. But what's really nice, so when I'm re-rolling a new character now, I don't just have to have my freaking meta tree that does nothing for me at low level. Now I can do fun stuff like I can have boxes come up, I can have essence, or I can have ghosts like I have here, and you can have corrupted items. I gotta tell you right now, whenever I'm re-rolling a new character, I have Lucid Dreams on. Not only is it great for getting random Val skill gems, which is pretty awesome, but of course you can get Val orbs and you can get fragments to fight at Ziri. I was trying to do Uber at Ziri and I never actually got a fight. So, I mean, if I would have kept playing for a few more weeks, which I originally intended, I think I definitely would have gotten it. But yeah, I got a ton of fragments, and I use the fragments in my maps for quantity all the time, so I even had more than you're seeing here. On top of just feeling amazing for rerolling a new character, you can always have your third tree for pretty much doing anything. I mean, honestly, you can do anything you want with all 3 of these trees. This is just what I use them for. You by no means have to do what I'm doing. This is my just huge farming tree. Of course, we have bold undertakings and whatnot, and we went for just a ton of stuff on the tree that gives you quantity. We got the ghost because I truly think Seance is a hugely underrated node on the tree. Not only is it only 4 perks, but the effect of Seance is incredible. If you get a smuggler, you get a free unique. If you get the tornado guy, I can't think of the name, seditionist, you usually get a free map. It's just really nice, and it really doesn't cost you much investment. And whatever it triggers, it's just it's pretty fantastic. So all I want to say, because I don't want to talk about this too much, I don't want to linger on this too much, but having multiple trees just gives you choices. And Path of Exile, the recent Path of Exile is my absolute favorite game, is the sheer amount of choice you really have. Not just fake going left, going right, but ending in the same destination kind of choice, but real choices. And sure, some of those choices are dog shit. And for I make dog shit choices all the time. But I want those choices, if that makes sense. The next amazing change they made this patch was the Scarabs. Scarabs are so good and ruthless right now. I'm so happy they did this. I kind of saw the Atlas skill tree coming. Well, I didn't know they were going to do it, but I was really hoping they would because it's a really simple and amazing solution for a really annoying problem. So I'm really happy they went that direction. But with Scarabs, I had no idea, man. I had no idea. Scarabs and Ruthless have always just kind of been okay, every once in a blue moon you find a good one, but for the most part, they're all just kind of a waste of your time. I don't think I've ran more than 100 Scarabs in all the last Ruthless leagues combined, but in this one, I've run a ridiculous amount. But the TLDR on Scarabs for Ruthless right now, so in the past, any league mechanic you weren't spec'd into was just pretty much a waste of your time. You can do it. I'm not saying that you should never do it. It's a terrible idea, but it's pretty bad. They're pretty bad. Like, especially here's Breach, for example. All league long, and I've played like I don't know, like 12 characters. I saved all my Breach Scarabs. I didn't use a single one. And then like 2 weeks ago or something like that, 3 weeks ago now, I ran all of them like back to back to back to back. And I was getting, and I fully spec'd on the tree, right? I was getting between, on average, 3 and 9 splinters per breach. 3 to 9. And that was roughly like, I don't know, like 30 points on the Atlas skill tree, which was up here. We get the breach stones, of course. I didn't get that. I took this down here, and I came down here, and I got this, and I got this. Oh, I'm sorry. I took heavy breach, not flash, because the character I was playing on was slow at farming. And I do believe I came down here, and no, I did not get that. It's been a while. Oh no, it was this one right here. Yeah, this one right here. I took all those notes that I could, and yeah, like I said, between 3 and 9, if you have no points at all and you're just running a random breach, after about 50 breaches, I was getting on average 0 to 1. So it's pretty bad. But now, however, you have an incentive, right? Because before you just blocked all the mechanics you weren't going to do because you could have a higher chance of seeing the ones you wanted. It doesn't increase the chance of mechanic happening, but it does give you a higher chance of you getting the one you want. And this is something, if you're playing Ruthless, just want to talk about this really quickly. The global chat in Ruthless always, oh, not always, but it's usually trying to be helpful and kind and nice. But there's a lot of misinformation out there. All the time I see people telling new players don't block mechanics because it does nothing. It only hurts you. And it's just not true at all. And they keep saying the reason it's useless is it does not increase the chance of you getting a league mechanic. And that is true. But that's not why we blocked them. That's not why you blocked them. When you do get a league mechanic, since that one cannot be rolled, you have a better chance of getting the one you want. That is the main reason. And of course, on top of that, you also can get rid of the Scarab drop pool for that mechanic, which is incredible. Now, what I want to talk about with that. So in the past, blocking, you would just block breach, right? Because there's no point. It's like, if you're not planning on farming extensively at some point, it's a complete waste of your time. But now, you can just kind of leave that open and block other mechanics you really don't like. Like, for example, I hate Expedition. I hate it with a fiery passion. Even in the normal game, like the non-Ruthless version, I did not like it. So I always have it blocked. But now I can leave this unblocked. That way, in the future, I can keep dropping these Scarabs while I'm mapping. And whenever I do want to finally switch over to Breach, I will have an abundance of power. It's kind of like, it kind of feels like, yeah, sure, every now and then you're seeing like a league mechanic you don't like. But because of that, you're like saving a piece of that mechanic to use for later. I don't know if I explained that very well, but it's like, it's really nice. It really feels good. Because in the past, you would just see it and be like, oh, what a waste. And now it's like, oh, cool, okay. You know, sure, I saw that crappy mechanic I'm not going to run right now. But because I did, now I can get the Scarabs I want so I can do it later. I really like that. It just really feels like you're slowly always building up something. And that is what I love about Ruthless. You always feel like, especially now with this league, which I love so much, it's always like, okay, I'm just getting this for later. I'm getting this for later. I can use that on this, you know, like in 2 weeks from now. I don't know. I like that. The Scarab change is amazing. Try not to ramble too long, but it's kind of hard to encapsulate just how much I love this change. It's really fun, and I'm very happy. So now I want to talk about the Necropolis League mechanic itself, and I'm just going to tell you right now, I thought it was great. I liked it. I had fun with it. Now I'm going to tell you right now, I absolutely do not want this to go core. This is crazy. But let me tell you something. They balanced this mechanic the way they used to balance everything, and I really liked it. They were like, okay, we want to give the players crazy ability to craft ridiculous stuff. How do we make a downside to that? And what they do, they made it so every single zone is harder. It's just straight up harder. And now there's more scary stuff. There's more stuff that can one-shot you. There's stuff you have to pay attention to or you will die. And I think that's perfect. They're like, yeah, you can craft some absolutely ridiculous items. But here's some death. There you go. It's a good trade. Now, I mean, obviously I don't know, because I do not play non-Ruthless anymore. I hope I never have to play non-Ruthless PoE again. And So I don't know for sure, so just keep that in mind when I'm talking now. But I think part of why this mechanic was not enjoyed on non-ruthless is like once like on non-ruthless, you're just so overpowered. There's so much free power that you get. And if you're playing a meta character, it's gonna just be even worse for you. Like it's not worse for you, but like better for you. You know, you're gonna be crazy powerful. So this mechanic pretty much adds nothing in terms of difficulty outside of just like, oh, there's this one like or there's probably like four things I imagine, but it kind of depends. I don't really know the meta skills right now. There's probably a couple of new things with with Necropolis that were like, oh, you slightly missed that one modifier that was added to that pack, you just died. That's it. You know, I pretty much think that's all it really added. And six tier one items on non ruthless is kind of whatever. I don't think it's that big of a deal. When I think back to when I was playing, I'd be like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But at the same time, it's it's not that crazy. So I don't blame anyone on non-ruthless for not liking it, but I loved it. I thought it was great. But again, I don't want this to go core. I think it would be cool if they did something like you got a random like craft, I guess, or something. I don't know, man. I'd rather it just didn't go core. And I do just want to quickly say I have no problem with league mechanics being overpowered as long as they go away because that's pretty much what league mechanics used to be. Also, there's one thing I really want to talk about very quickly. I would rather have players having the ability to craft six tier one rares over having stuff like explodey totem or the original guardian sentinel. I absolutely hate anything in games like this or pretty much any game where if you just put it on or use it, you just win. It doesn't matter if you don't know anything. It doesn't matter if you have like no skill or knowledge for whatever you're trying to achieve or do. It doesn't matter if all your other gear or stats are trash. It just wins you the game. And I hate that. I don't like it. And before I go to this next part, I just want to say I understand that on PoE. So I've talked to like a group of like, I don't know, 40 people for the last like 6 years. We're all very similar mindset. And obvious and like constantly there's new people I meet that have the same kind of mindset. And it's that mindset of like you just kind of want to grind and get there. You don't want to just like put something on and win and you get there and you just did it. And I have no issue with people that like to do that. You know, everyone plays in different ways, which is what I love about PoE. But let me just explain why I hate stuff like Explodey Totem. So, we're interacting with global chat. I'm constantly meeting new people, like not like personally, but you just see people introducing themselves and talking to themselves and talking to other people. And I was talking to this one guy back and forth for a while. He started playing I don't know, like a year before Crucible or something like that. He had never gotten past tier 4 maps. Crucible League came out. He put on an Explodey Totem Bow once, and that league he killed Ubers. He killed Ubers. He had no idea what was going on. He watched a 2 minute video, he said, and he killed everything. And he has never played again. I have never seen him back on. Not once. I was gonna show his name and show him offline for a couple of years, but or well, a year. Sorry, it's not that dramatic. Calm down. But I don't really want to like show his name and stuff. I don't know. That seems like a bad idea. And I just want to like just say like I'm not trying to be dramatic and say like oh they should never do stuff like that because it's just like it's gonna kill the community or whatever. I'm not trying to be all that. It's just what I don't like that. I really hate the idea of like you put something on, it just carries you through everything. But hey, that's just my opinion, and I'm not trying to stop other people from being able to do that. But I hate that, and I just wanted to add that in. So I want to talk about the characters I played now. So originally I was going to talk about every single build I played. I was like, I'll do that every season. But I don't know if you know this, but I play a lot of characters. And I think if I did that, this would be like an hour plus video. So I don't think that would be perceived very well. So here's a I think a more interesting option anyway, and it'll be less time consuming for people. Uh it'd be interesting to do like the top 3 or the top 5 builds every league. That way like every character I can try to like I don't know. It gives me like an additional motivation to try to push the character further. That way it's kind of like a little leaderboard between my own builds if that makes sense. And that just sounds kind of fun to me. So I decided to pick, just for this video, the top 2 characters to keep it very short. And I don't know if you know what they're going to be, but I'm going to like just scroll like up and down really quickly like this. See if you can place your guess. All right, I am going to pick number one, and this is the favorite build of this league for me. It's Earthquake. It's Earthquake, dude. Look at this axe. Look at this axe. That was not from the league mechanic. It dropped like that. It dropped like that in Delph, and we used 2 Exalted Orbs on it. As a matter of fact, where is the, what is it called? Display? Ah, yes. Where do we put this? I'm just going to put it here right now. We can move it later. You are going inside, and you are never coming out until I find a better melee weapon. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. And Earthquake was my favorite skill in PoE for I don't know since it came out until I stopped playing hardcore. I guess like, I loved it, dude. Earthquake is such a fun skill. I love everything about it. I wish it would get slight buffs. Slight, not crazy because it's already really good. But the thing is, it's not even so much that Earthquake itself needs a buff, but melee in general. But to be honest with you, that's like a whole other video to talk about. But Earthquake, it was 10 out of 10. Definitely would not go champion again. I would definitely go Juggernaut. But I will say, going champion will make you way more money. That's all I'm going to say. You map so fast. This adrenaline stuff is nonsense. The fortification feels kind of good. I mean, it feels good. I don't want to lie. It feels good. 15% reduced less damage from hits all the time is good. But it was never, like, crazy. But to be fair, my tree was terrible. My tree definitely could have been optimized in a lot of ways. The main thing I would recommend if you play my tree, drop like 15 points of damage. Or at least 10. And this character will feel twice as good. Love this character. We had 500k kills, and it was great. Now, for the number 2 slot, this was way harder, to be honest with you. I had a lot of characters I really liked this league, and it was between the ball trap, the lightning trap assassin, the sword, of course. Surprisingly, Inferno Blow Scion or Ascendant was pretty amazing, and the Blade Vortex. So it's between those, and to be honest with you, I ended up saying the sword. I don't know, man. This sword was so fun to use. In all of my time on PoE, I don't think I've ever crafted like a rare elemental two-handed sword, and it was fun. It was sweet. This character was weird as hell. I did Uber Elder, and I had a great time. It was whack, though. I'm going to tell you right now. If you are like me and you like to play some weird stuff, I definitely have to tell you, give this build a run. It is not going to be your favorite build ever. It might be. If you're a complete weirdo, this you might have just unlocked your new favorite build every league. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm sure there's one weirdo out there, and God bless you. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you like playing weird shit, you got to play this. It's hard to explain, but you just got to play it. I would also like to point out we never had a 6 link, and we did a 5 link. Oh, wait, did we have a 6 link, or were we 5 link? I actually don't know. I'm pretty sure we were 5 link, but we might have been 6, actually, now that I think about it. But I'm pretty sure we killed Cyrus, and of course we did Uber Elder. This character was great, man. It's really tanky. It does a lot of damage. The cooldown is rough, but it was fun. Now, before we go, just a quick honorable mention to the Cleave, the freaking Cleave Berserker. So it's kind of funny. This character was originally going to be, because I rolled Berserker for my random league starter, and I kind of had the idea of trying to league start with Inferno Blow. I thought that would be fun. But to be honest with you, this was the league I started doing the challenge of I have to roll like my first 5 like random gems I roll in lab for a transfigured gem. I have to pick one of them and make a character with it. And the very first one I got was Val Cleave, so I was like, screw it, let's just go with it. Why not? This character was hell. This character was living in hell. It was awful. It was a bad time. But let me tell you, if I ever find that unique axe that gives you the plus 10 rage, and I get that sword, or not that sword, but the what the heck is it called? Paradoxus or whatever from Safe House. If I ever get that sword and that axe together, I'm gonna see how far I can take Cleave. But until then, I am never gonna play this terrible skill again because it was awful. Anyway, though, Necropolis, I'm gonna miss this league. I have some great memories from this mechanic, and these weapons are terrible. My God. This is a great time. I can't wait for next league. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry it's so long, and I don't know when I'm gonna see you again, but hopefully it's soon.